Hi there, my name is Juji. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited for you to be here. This is a space for anyone and everyone who's interested in exploring self-development and relationships through the human design system. Well, guys, I got a new request to do a reading for Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, who after 12 years of marriage are splitting up, unfortunately. And of course, I wanted to figure out what the angle was and why these two gorgeous human beings just couldn't make it work. So I want to dive right in because there's a couple of things that definitely stuck out for me right away. So this is Tom Brady. He's a generator, split definition, sacral, 4-1 profile on the juxtaposition cross of retreat, which is a very rare profile. I'm going to get back to that in a moment, but I also want to point out that Tom has this 4816, this channel of talent. He's clearly a very talented individual. I mean, he's probably won more Super Bowls than anyone else. Don't quote me on that. I don't know anything about football stats. All I know is that he is clearly very good at what he does. And I also want to point out that he is a 515, the channel of rhythm and flow. Now, the thing that really sticks out is that Tom Brady retired, right, from football. And then 6 weeks later, he announced that he was coming back. So that retirement didn't last a very long time. And supposedly that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Gisele. And I would venture to guess the reason for this is that he was missing his routine. He was missing training. He was missing doing the things that he's been doing for many, many, many years throughout his career and probably for many years before that. So I can see why he just couldn't adjust to retirement the way that he was being expected to. So this is Gisele. She's a generator. She is emotional authority, single definition, 2-5 on the right angle cross of laws. Now, right off the bat, it's really interesting that it seems she was the one that filed for divorce. And this came right after Tom announced that he was actually not going to retire. He was going to stay in Florida and continue playing football for the Buccaneers, I guess. Gosh, I can't believe I know that. But his wife, whose cross of laws makes the laws for the household, was not having it. And so she was done. After apparently many years of back and forth and blow up fights and all of that, she decided she didn't want to be married to him anymore. The first thing that sticks out to me is this 59-6, which I've talked about before. And the reason this is significant is because this is the only emotional channel where people who have this both put out and take in emotion from others. So not only is this a very sensitive energy, it's also very intimate. And it sees breaches of intimacy as basically personal attacks. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I did talk about how anyone who has this channel is very black and white in their relationships. You're either in or you're out. You're either in this intimate bond or you're not. And that's really what a divorce is all about. This is right? Gisele and Tom together. Notice that they remain split in their chart. And they have 4 electromagnetic connections together, which is pretty significant. Together, they have the channel of the beat, the 214, which is all about material direction. Together, they have certainly built an empire. They own multiple homes together. You know, being in this auric configuration, he's launched a million companies. She's launched a bunch of companies. I mean, their wealth just continued to accumulate and accumulate as this power couple, right? And it's no wonder that this is what they did for their family, since they have this channel of synthesis, the 4919, which is all about the needs of the tribe. It's all about what these two people need to create in order to provide for their families. They also have this channel of maturation, which a lot of celebrity couples that I've done have together. This is about going through cycles together and maturing together. And it seems that they kind of hit a wall in those cycles, and their marriage is ending after almost 13 years. So they've gone through almost 2 7-year genetic cycles together. And I guess that was the limit for them. And then they have this channel of surrender, the 2644. So this channel as an electromagnetic is potentially why we saw their divorce as something that came out of the blue, because it was really sold to us that they were this incredible, loving couple. They were constantly like photographed all over each other. Even a couple of months ago for their anniversary, they were posing together and taking selfies and I love you and our family and isn't it amazing? So it was really being sold to us as this incredible pairing. And what else is kind of unusual is that there's not a single compromise between the two of them. A compromise channel is when somebody has the full channel, meaning they have a connection from one center to another, and the other person only has a hanging gate. But this is not something that occurs between the two of them. Now they are 8 and 2, meaning they have 2 centers open and 8 defined, and that is what we call 8 and 2 work to do. So they were constantly, quote unquote, working on the relationship, working on keeping it together, working on the sustainability. But I guess in the end, it just wasn't enough. But here's the thing, they have the head and the ajna open together. So together they are open to possibilities and inspiration. And it really feels to me like they really gave it the old college try, and in the end, it just didn't seem to be enough. I really try to come up with things that we can learn from looking at people's charts. What I want to point out first and foremost is that Tom Brady is a 4-1 profile, and 4-1s are a fixed fate. It is a very rare profile because it only occurs for a very short window of time during the course of the day. And anyone who has this profile is very fixed in the way that they see things. In a way, they have horse blinders on, right? And the thing that Tom Brady had horse blinders on for is football. And this is supposedly what came between the two of them. Now, Gisele, knowing full well that football is the type of game that requires a lot of energy and a lot of focus in order to be this almost machine of a human being. I know that he was very, very regimented in the way that he ate, the way that he worked out, the way that he slept. And that again goes back to that 515, where this routine was so ingrained and built into him. And then his singular focus was on winning and winning often in this sport, that she basically felt like she was running out a clock in some way, because there's a shelf life for professional football players. And she figured that eventually he would be forced to retire. And in a way, what she was waiting for is for him to change. And that's something that human design really shows us. And this is kind of this umbrella statement, is that people don't change, especially people who are fixed fate, especially people with a 515 auric configuration with this very steady, very even aura. Tom Brady was never going to change enough for Gisele, and she was probably very upset, and her 59-6 channel of intimacy took it very personally that he just couldn't he just couldn't retire, for one thing. he just couldn't he just couldn't stay away from the sport that he loves. And she was visibly very upset by the fact that he chose that over this family that they had created together. Now, is that really true? Who knows? I mean, I think that Tom probably believed that he could change. He probably wanted to be able to retire. He probably wants to be able to give Gisele what she wants and needs and give his family more of his attention. And he just can't. And I think it's really heartbreaking to watch when two people who clearly love each other, who have plenty of chemistry together, who are very attracted to one another. I mean, there's absolutely no rumors around any sort of infidelity here. It's really just about this career. And people keep saying it's because Gisele really wants her career back and she wants to be able to go back to work herself. But I don't think any of his work was really holding her back from doing what she wanted to do. It's just that she really wanted this intimate family life, and she kept waiting and she kept waiting and she kept waiting. And then she couldn't wait any longer. She just couldn't. And it just really goes to show you that romantic partnerships are not about trying to change your partner. It's not about trying to bend them to your will. And I don't blame her for wanting that. I don't blame her for believing that it could happen. It's just unfortunate because she will forever take it personally that this is how it went down, and she doesn't have to. Just like you don't have to take it personally when somebody behaves the way that they behave in your relationship. I just want to add too that Tom is on the juxtaposition cross of retreat, which probably means he needs a lot of alone time. Actually, my husband has retreat in his Sun Earth cross, and he definitely is a person who needs time to recharge in his own aura. So think about it this way. Not only is Tom's singular focus football, but then when he does have off time from this very intense sport, he probably wants to retreat and be by himself. And that was probably just too much for her to bear, which is unfortunate, because if she was able to see that that was not something that she needed to take personally, then they could have possibly made it work, honestly. All right, guys, I think that's a really good place to wrap it up. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you can get notified whenever I release a new one. Please comment below if you have any comments, questions, or if there's a celebrity couple you'd like me to take a look at. You can also follow me on Instagram at HDbyZ and find me on my site. The link will be in the show notes. There you can see I offer individual human design readings, a relationship mentorship program, so you don't have to take anything too personally, and a community for conscious women who are following their strategy and authority in their everyday life called the Beehive. Until next time, ciao for now.